In this video, we're going to take a look at how to process payments for match officials during a large competition or tournament. Typically, this would be done potentially at the end of the full tournament, be it a single day or multi-day event, or simply throughout the tournament, maybe at the end of each day, depending on how you want to run your competition. Now, I'm already in the competition admin section, and the first thing we would recommend doing is going to the manage members and searching for the specific member. So in this case, I'm just going to do a search for everyone. And in this case, I'm just going to pick Allison as the example to work with. Now, the first thing to do is usually you'll be doing payments and the person will be leaving at that particular time of the day. So you want to first check that if they have any appointments still coming up. So it's usually a good idea to just have a look. In this particular case, I'd select the day that I'm looking at. I might talk about the different appointments that they've got, make sure that they're still going. If there's any that are in the future, I need to make sure they're still going to do those games, or that, if they're not, then we basically adjust the appointments as needed, and then come back and kind of update this. Now, the other thing to check would be also to update availability. If they are leaving, make sure you jump in and again kind of adjust the availability based on what's happening there. Now, there is a button here where I can immediately go and create a payment record for Allison. There's a couple already in here, but I can simply say, okay, new payment, and then what I would do here is go through and create a payment record. What I'm going to demonstrate is the same process, but where we're moving things to is the payment portal. So the first few steps you would still complete from the manage members. The follow-up step you would actually complete from the payment portal. And we will eventually change that payment button that you just saw there. It's the same, it records the same payment record. That will eventually show the same here. Now, what you can do under the payment portal is this gives you a few extra options around searching for like payments that might be generated, or even running things like a payment cycle where you can at the end of the day basically generate payments for everybody. But let me search quickly here. We're going to see there's a couple of payments already. We already saw those in the other screen, but this gives me an opportunity to check for any existing payments that maybe are just in draft. But what we're going to do is create a new payment. So that's currently just available here. If I select Allison from this drop-down list, and then I'm going to click new payment. Now this brings up a very similar form to the previous one we're looking at. And what we'll do here is defaults to today. I can choose my status. So you can set these defaults, but the status here being whether it's just in draft. So maybe you are going to draft up the payment, or maybe you're going to actually flag it as basically being processed for payment, as in you've created the payment record, and then you're going to pass that over to a finance coordinator who would then process it for payment via EFT, and then they would come in and maybe update all the payments to a paid status. But maybe you're just paying them in cash at the time, so you could set something similar to that. I will just say the generated status is typically used for running payment cycles where that they effectively flagged that they've been automatically generated. But let's say we're paying cash in this point. Now what I want to do is at the bottom here you'll see a search for unpaid match payments. Let me do a search there and see what comes up. So we've got a few payments here. I can simply add an individual one. Maybe I just want to add that one, or I can add them all to the payment, and you'll see that it simply adds them up into the top. If I've made a mistake, I can easily delete one, or I can even add like a custom record. So there might be something where you've given someone, you're correcting an error, or you're correcting a payment, or maybe you've actually like overpaid them in the past, so you can actually like add adjustments and that'll all balance out. But maybe they put a whistle off you or something, so all of those sorts of things can be kind of added in there, that sort of thing. Now, if you do change things here, make sure you hit update, as I just did there. The other thing I will just say, if you're making corrections based on a match appointment, we strongly suggest also making sure you update the actual appointment records, but because these, once you get into the payment record, like it is disconnected. Well, there is a reference back to the match appointment, but if you change appointments, it doesn't change the payment record, because the payment record is effectively saying that it's being paid at that point. Now, when I'm ready, I'd simply just hit record payment, and that's saved. And so that would be now processed. And in fact, if I use the search here, where I can search for Ellison, let's say G, and I could even flag this as basically, let's just say we're looking for just paid things. And we can see now that's come up there. That's the one that we just processed. Ideally, well, at a major event, it would be up to you as to which methodology you use. This gives you more granular control. Obviously, you can use payment cycles. However, just remember that will generate a payment record for everyone that has unpaid games based on the search criteria that you're looking for. So if that's the case, then you would typically use the payment search to come in and look for certain like records. So maybe there's one that's in a draft, or maybe it's processed for payment, and then you would flag it as being paid when ready. Thank you.